Hello everyone. This video it's going to be a short video because my phone doesn't have much battery left. I'd just like to make a quick reply to, well, it was intended as a reply to a video by Stefan Svietkovich, who I believe is The World Tree, when he talked about the essence of paganism. And so that's what I'll talk about, because he made a statement that the essence of paganism is love. And I'm here to tell you that's wrong. Because love is just an emotion, right? To say love would be an inherent physical reality, and not just an emotional interpretation of our environment, it would rely on evidence that Svietkovich himself doesn't bring anyway. And yeah, love is just an emotion, much like hate. And see, in order to have love, you must also have hate. In order to love something, you must hate what is opposite to that, what is opposed to it. And so, all of the incongruencies between certain things, which say, for the point of argument, you're completely undisposed towards, and love itself, or that which you love, those incongruencies must be filled with some opposite emotion, which would be hatred. And so this is what I say when I hear a lot of people talking about the degenerate races, but using terminology so colorful and so pleasant towards these people. They say that they love their own race without having any feelings towards other races. This is just impossible, because it's these other races which are threatening ours. And so if you really loved your race, you would hate the other races. And this can be said about anything. In romantic relationships, if you have a girlfriend, and that girlfriend has another man who is after her, or is wanting to be her suitor, you can't love both your girlfriend and this other man who wants to take your girlfriend. It's there's an incongruency there which needs to be fulfilled with another emotion. And I think it's a very Christian thing to say you love this and you love, that which is opposed to it, because you love it on the basis of what it really is. All emotions and emotionality are really just instincts to help us achieve our primal desires. Now, when talking about emotions, I believe one should not talk rationally, like a certain emotion is good or a certain emotion is bad. Because then you have to suppress your emotions without suppressing the actual thing which is causing that emotion. So, for example, Christians say it's wrong to hate this person or that person without even acknowledging who that person is. The same thing can be said about love. There's no point in forcing yourself to love something when you don't really love it. Then by saying the essence of paganism is love, you're implying that we should love, like Svetkovich said, nature and ourselves, without also admitting to the fact that it would cause a great deal of hatred. And also, the main point is that he's putting forward the idea that love is inherently good, that the love of certain things is good inherently, and not just that love is just an inevitable secondary reaction towards our relationship with that object, with that concept. To reduce the meaning behind your entire religion down to a single emotion is an incredibly Christianized, orientalized attitude. And it's not what our ancestors believed in. In the same way that our ancestors did not believe in a good and evil, in the sense that it's purported now. If something is good, it's beneficial. If it's evil, it's non-beneficial to you in the immediate sense. But at the same time, both this good and evil is necessary, because in this existence there is so much different elements, and all of these elements have different characteristics. And so what is good to one is not necessarily good to another, and vice versa. And so therefore, to keep this balance, good and evil are both needed. And this brings me on to my point, for what the essence of paganism really is. It's not love, it's not any emotion, but rather it's perpetuance. What I would call a perpetuance in the broadest sense. But reincarnation, it could be called in the human sense. The purpose of paganism is to strike through those momentary moments into the eternal moments, those earthly moments into the transcendent, godly moments, those parts in the microcosm, and force them and echo them in the macrocosm, in order for perpetuance to be instigated. That is what I'll say, because to reduce it down to simply something secondary, to an emotion, it doesn't do it justice. Do you think a ritual, which would be a conscious stretching of those moments across time through symbolism and through the rites, that this ritual could be conceived of only through an emotion, through something completely inconsequential? It doesn't do justice to the religion, and it whittles it down to something completely meaningless. You'll see in every vestige of paganism that reincarnation and perpetuance of all sorts are really at the core of its meaning. Not something secondary, something as trivial as an emotion like love. So this is just hippie nonsense, and yeah, that's all I have to say. Furthermore, I'll add that you could just as easily say that the essence of paganism is all about hate. Hatred of our enemies, hatred of deterioration, of depreciation of life values, and of mediocrity. You could just as easily say it's all about hate. In fact, you could say it's all about any number of emotions. Really, you could say it's all about all of those basic impulses as well, which again are secondary. Ultimately, you're looking at reason and the goal by just examining the cause, rather than examining, not examining the cause, and instead examining secondary features. Because ultimately, the essence of paganism would be something to do with the perpetuation of that cycle, of the circle of what is right and what is natural. Everything else we experience is secondary. And due to the domestication of man since 10,000 years of agriculture, it's crazy to think that our emotions would be the same as those in the past. And so, emotions differ from one person to another. To examine it from an emotional perspective, it's just, to me, it seems effeminate and domesticated, and it's not how things would have been in the past. And it's not really what the true meaning of it is.